Good evening and welcome to Match of the Day, a natural break from the excitement of the snooker final. Coming back, though, that is in 50 minutes' time. But we now watch two games in which 22 players share one ball. The first from Highbury, the Cannon League Division 1 match between Arsenal and Luton Town.
And now Robson turning away from Hill. Good early shot by Stuart Robson. Oh, and Seeley's dropped it, and luckily for him, just the other side of the post.
Well, that's followed by a local derby from the second division, Oldham Athletic versus Manchester City.
Kinsey coming in from the far side. May is up on the edge of the area. He's the one unmarked. And up comes Phillips. Another fine save.
And at half-time, as it were, we take a special look at the efforts Watford have made to recreate the image of football as a game for the family. But first action coming up now from the game between Arsenal, after a fine start on the crest of a slump, and Luton Town, who've yet to get their act together this season. But the hot news seems to be more about absent friends than today's company of players. Your commentator, John Motson.
Highbury is buzzing with the team news that catapulted Arsenal into the overnight headlines. Pat Jennings and Charlie Nicholas both dropped and both there among the crowd today. Their replacements on the pitch are Ian Allinson, who's scored in 4 successive matches recently, and goalkeeper John Lukic. It's only his second league game of the season. Well, they're part of the Arsenal side, which may shortly include Steve Williams, in whom Don Howe has declared an early interest. The other news today is that Graham Rix goes into hospital on Monday for an operation for his Achilles problem. But for this afternoon, the injury to David O'Leary means a return for Tommy Caton alongside Tony Adams. And at the heart of the Luton defence, Steve Foster makes his debut following his midweek move from Aston Villa. He's been appointed Luton's new captain, and he leads the side showing 4 changes and still without 7 injured players. They include goalkeepers Andy Dibble and Jake Findlay, so Les Seeley gets his first game of the season in goal. Just taking his seat there for his first look at English League football, Joe Frazier, the former world heavyweight champion, and 2 rows in front of him, on the front row, next to David Pleat, the Luton manager, who's at the end, is the club's new chairman, David Evans. David Axel from Southend is this afternoon's referee. So Arsenal get us away in the red shirts, playing from the right. 2 teams badly in need of a good result for different reasons. Steve Foster's first touch there, he's wearing the familiar headband. Lucky ground for him, he once won an FA Cup semi-final here with Brighton. Here's Anderson. And that was a shot by Woodcock. The ball came to Woodcock off Foster, who got a foot to a half clearance, and Woodcock hit it instantly. Adams was decisive there, but the referee had already given a free kick in his favour when the ball went forward. Away by Parker to Steen. Now Turner to Elliott. Steen was injured in that last little tangle, but he's up again now. And here's Talbot. And now it's Davis, and Viv Anderson's forward here. Good effort by Anderson, and Seeley held it. Good thing he did with 2 players coming in on Anderson's shot. Well, the foul was by Anderson on Elliott. Turner. And Foster coming in there, fine save. Well, Foster's lost the headband, but for Lukic, he would have found a goal. It was a good firm header, he beat the defender, but when Lukic, with good height up to his advantage, of course, stretched up, he was able to turn it over. He's 6'4", this goalkeeper, and he needed it all there. Woodcock. Allinson challenging Thomas. It came off Allinson, in fact, at the end. And Seeley finds the upper tier. It's Robson with the throw. Fisted clear as far as Allinson. Robson again. Off Thomas, corner. Adams with the flick. Kate was nearly there. Hill beat him. Steen. That's a good ball by Brian Steen. That's really opened things up for Luton. Breaker offside against Bunn. Good pass from Brian Steen, though, to turn defence into attack there for Luton. And just an offside at the end. It was a swift break, that. Here's Mariner. And he's taken the throw quickly to Allinson. Oh, good effort, and it's there! The man who was brought in to replace Charlie Nicholas has opened the scoring for Arsenal. And for Ian Allinson, quite an unusual goal. He scored it with his right foot. A dipping shot, which deceived Les Seeley. Allinson noted for his powerful left foot normally, but with the right foot there, he put Arsenal in front. After 17 minutes play. Paul Mariner in the picture there really helped that situation by taking the throw in quickly, and he got the ball to Allinson before he was marked, and Luton never recovered from that. Woodcock. Allinson's made a run down the left wing, number 11. Talbot's coming in from the far side of the penalty area now, and no one's there to meet him apart from the goalkeeper. That was a staggering run by Talbot. It must have been 60 yards. Woodcock now. Sansom. Allinson. And goal kick. But it was down to Les Seeley there, because Brian Talbot had made one of those surging runs. He was on the end of the cross to meet it with a header, but at the goalkeeper. Otherwise, Arsenal would have been 2 up, surely. Woodcock. And now Robson turning away from Hill. Good early shot by Stuart Robson. Oh, and Seeley's dropped it, and luckily for him, just the other side of the post. Robson surprised the goalkeeper there. Seeley made a bit of a drama of the save and then dropped the ball. And Anderson's up there, but presumably pushed the goalkeeper over. Quite a while since Luton scored a goal away from home in a league match. It's nearly 3.5 matches now. David Pleat will be well aware of that as he surveys things just coming up to half-time. Here's Talbot. Over came Donaghy. Sansom, back again to Davis. Lofted cross for Mariner coming in. Foster's clearance, that's Allinson! Nearly did it again, this time with the other foot. He thinks it's a corner. A goal kick's been given. But he attempted to lob Seeley there, and it wasn't very far over. And the referee brings the first half to a close with Arsenal leading by 1-0. The 2 players they brought in have both figured. The goalkeeper, Lukic, made a good early save from Steve Foster, and then Ian Allinson came along with a goal after 17 minutes, by which Arsenal lead. Well, half-time entertainment of a different sort at Highbury these days. The spectators here are able to watch various information and pictures on a giant video screen at the clock end there. Luton have only had one away win and one draw in the First Division this season, and Arsenal are unbeaten at home. Indeed, haven't lost at Highbury since last February. Here's Woodcock for them. Sansom. And Mariner pulled away there, and here's Allinson. And Talbot's well forward, good header out by Breaker. This is Robson. Sansom. Well, there'll be some interesting thoughts in the players' pen, I would think, this afternoon. Charlie Nicholas and Pat Jennings in there. Graham Ricks between them. Davis. Inside for Robson. Came off Donaghy. They're onside. It's Mariner. And nearly an own goal by Donaghy. Seeley saved him and his side. Mariner it was who had the first attempt. And as the ball flew across the goal mouth, Mal Donaghy got a foot to it, and Seeley had to make a save from his own defender and took a blow on the head, I think, from Ian Allinson, who was going in on the keeper, or rather looking for the ball. David Pleat knows that nothing's gone his way this season when it's come to injuries. 7 players ruled out today. And it should be said, after all, that what a very good save it was, even though it came off his own player. Robson, Woodcock, Mariner. Good challenge by Foster. Here's Bunn. Talbot. Allinson. Steen. It's away by Robson. And Breaker with Allinson at his heels. Oh, he's made a mistake. Woodcock now for Arsenal. 2-0. Woodcock scores. And poor Tim Breaker knows he has to take the responsibility for that goal. He tried to ward off Allinson and he only gave it to Woodcock. And Woodcock slotted the ball past Seeley to continue his remarkable run of scoring against this opposition. Because Woodcock has scored against Luton now in 4 consecutive matches. A hat-trick here 2 seasons ago. He scored in both games last season, and he puts Arsenal 2-0 up today with just over an hour gone. Woodcock, who's 29 next Thursday, gives himself and the fans an early present. Luton will make a substitution now. Frank Bunn is the player going off. And coming on is the 25-year-old Nigerian who scored last week, Emeka Nwajobi. And here's a chance for Woodcock to get a cross in, and forcing a corner anyway. There's Mariner. And now it's Allinson with the cross. Oh, and that's a goal for Bill Anderson. Anderson, who's a useful goal scorer from fullback, makes it 3-0 after 68 minutes. That's Anderson's fourth for Arsenal since he came here from Forest. He also got one for England in Turkey, you'll remember. And those two goals in the space of 8 minutes have put a very different complexion on the match. Don Howe's team very much in charge now. Don Howe might reflect after the game that Allinson, who he brought into the side today, has had a hand in all 3 goals now. He scored the first goal, he hassled the defender on the second, and he supplied the cross for the third. That's some contribution from the number 11. Handball by Robson. This is Parker. Joby's at the far post. What an overhead kick by Steen. That's really well taken, and the substitute helped to make it. The cross was deep to the far side. Joby knocked it back, and Brian Steen, some acrobatics in there. And Lukic got a hand to it maybe, but anyway, it was in the corner. 3-1. Bit of bad marking maybe by Arsenal just preceding that when they analyse it, but certainly Luton have got something back here. It's their first away goal in the league for over 3.5 games. They'll be pleased enough about that, but still a long way from drawing level here. 3-1. Came after 75 minutes. Here's Allinson. And there goes Talbot, and there are 3 waiting in the centre. Parker. Now, what has that goal done for Luton's confidence, I wonder? Turner. Here's Elliott. Parker. And the goalkeeper's come a long way, and Caton's put it back over his head. And Steen and Caton recovered, actually, to challenge Steen. That was important, the recovery, because Lukic had come so far, so fast, that Tommy Caton lofted the ball over him and almost presented Steen, the pair of them, with the second goal. But Caton got to Steen, who couldn't finish it off. Forward by Davis. Now it's Mariner. Through to Allinson. Oh, foul by Thomas, penalty. And Allinson has now been involved in 3 goals and a penalty incident. He was the player brought down by the left-back Thomas. A penalty to Arsenal. Brian Talbot has placed the ball on the spot. Seeley saves. Well, Arsenal have had their problems with penalties. He's not the first one to miss this season by any means. And Seeley got down to his right to make a good save. Elliott with the header. Free kick to Luton. Presumably that was dissent by Ian Allinson. Must have said something when the referee gave the decision. Donaghy. Nuajobi coming in from the right. Nice cross too. Elliott got a flick on it. Oh, I say that was close. Steve Elliott with the header. But the man that they brought on, who supplied the cross, has made quite an impact out there, Emeka Nuajobi. He made the goal, and he made that last opening too. Well, Don Howe made a decision today to leave out Charlie Nicholas, and it was vindicated by the performance in his place of Ian Allinson, who scored Arsenal's first goal, was involved in the second and third, was brought down for a penalty which was admittedly missed, but all in all, Arsenal gain 3 much-needed points, and Luton Town, despite a flurry towards the end, unable to match them when it came to power near goal. Arsenal 3, Luton 1.
Well, quite a match that was. Luton, though, is slowly joining Stoke City as the teams most likely to go down, certainly unless they can bring about a hasty restoration of confidence. But what an extraordinary story is that of Ian Allinson, who at 27 finds himself in the spotlight, forging ahead of players valued at 10 times his price. And 10 times is not even accurate, as due to a clerical oversight, Arsenal got him for nothing on a free transfer from Colchester. Good spotting by someone and firm management by Don Howe also reaped its reward. Ian Allinson has 2 good feet, an excellent knowledge of how the game is played, and does the simple things very well indeed. And perhaps more important, is hungrier than some. David.
Well, after that win, Don Howe, the Arsenal manager, confirmed his interest in the Southampton midfield player Steve Williams and said he'd probably be contacting the Southampton manager Laurie McMenemy over the weekend. Well, meanwhile, Chelsea continue to be the form team of the moment, and Kerry Dixon the form striker. He scored his 20th goal of the season as they beat Liverpool 3-1 in front of nearly 41,000 at Stamford Bridge. Well, Everton still lead, but now only by a point from Manchester United and Arsenal. Spurs drop to 4th after their draw at Coventry. Southampton, without Williams or Mark Wright, go up to 5th after a David Armstrong goal that gave them victory at Ipswich. Chelsea are now in the top 6 after that win over Liverpool. At the bottom, apart from Ipswich, both Stoke and Luton also lost, but there were 3 winners: Aston Villa, Leicester, who hammered Queen's Park Rangers 4-0, and Watford, who are now rapidly climbing out of trouble.
For thousands of years, we managed to communicate perfectly well without wires. Isn't it funny how things come around? You can now get AOL wireless broadband for the same price as regular broadband. Is it time we went back to wireless?
My shop, extended hours. My bank,
Try later.
early doors. My cappuccino, thrown in. My branch number, thrown out. My favourite shop, new store. My bank, trendy wine bar.
There is another way. Phones answer 24/7, a direct line to your branch, and more branches now opening.
My bank, dumped. My account, switched.
The future of your skin is in your hands. React.
Wrinkle Decrease from L'Oreal Men Expert. Anti-expression wrinkle cream for long-lasting hydration. Wrinkles appear reduced. Expert technology for every man's skin.
He keeps getting better with age.
Men Expert from L'Oreal Paris.
You're worth it too.
Going to the bar, I presume. Sir, a soupçon of the exotic? The epitome of excellence?
That's the last one.
Never come between a woman and Heat magazine. With stars who are piling on the pounds. Fat, thin, make your mind up.
Sophie said, if I don't do it now, if I don't go back to college, I might never do it. You know, it's a big decision now. It basically means you're going to have to support me for the next 3 years, so You know, it needs to be a joint decision, but what do you think?
Terracotta?
Ladies and gentlemen, pray silence, please. The Big Tasty is now at McDonald's.
I like an apple. I like a square cut. I like a funny car. I like a monster truck. Color popping, I'm funding stomach. Cocoa mop, I stop nothing, plummet. But on top, if I eat the crocodile.
Get inside the mind of a racing legend. Join ESPN Classic as we hit the track with the 3-time Formula One world champion. From car mechanic to motor racing pioneer, follow the rise of a man who changed his sport forever.
Jackie Stewart has won it! Jackie Stewart, the Flying Scot, Saturday at 10 on ESPN Classic.
Now, Watford, despite a poor start to the season, have increased their home gates by 29,000 compared with last season. That's an average of 2,000 a match. And one of the reasons given for this has been Watford's efforts to build a club fit for all the family. Well, we went along to their match today against Nottingham Forest.
Yes, please. Yes.
Paul and Stephanie Belcher arrive for the biggest afternoon of their lives. Paul, who's 7, and sister Stephanie, just 5, will lead their team out against Forest. But first, a warm Watford welcome from Graham Taylor.
Stephanie Belcher versus Nottingham Forest. We better not say Notts Forest, else we'll have Mr. Clough after us, but we couldn't get Nottingham on there. First of the 12th, 84. What you do with him, you see, you put him at the side of your bed, and before you go to bed at night, you have a look at him, he makes you smile. And when you get up in the morning, you have a look at him, he makes you laugh. And all you've got to do is to remember to smile and laugh all day. Because he does it for you during the night. Put him by the side of your bed, you see?
The mascots are just part of the Watford policy of ask the family and make them welcome. Every week in this special family enclosure, the children get sweets, toys or books from sponsors. There are 500 seats, each bearing the name of the season ticket holder. No adult is allowed in here unless accompanied by a child, and the waiting list is long. It's so popular, there's now a family terrace too, and that's to be extended next season to cope with demand. Proof that if you try hard enough, the families will come back to football.
The atmosphere is wonderful here, and also you don't have any trouble with people swearing or any misbehaviour problems. And with 3 children, I feel very happy to come on my own without my husband. I even bring my mother along.
Whole families come?
The whole families come, yes.
Would you be as happy to see your children come to a football match if there wasn't this area for them?
No, I wouldn't, no.
At 5-3, it's the big moment for Paul and Stephanie, with Watford captain Wilf Rostron. 18,000 have come to Watford again, and despite a poor start to the season, attendances are up, and that's due, at least to some extent, to how the club treat their public. Today, the fans had hardly settled when Watford went ahead through George Riley after 3 minutes. The family enclosure was suitably impressed, and even more so after 29 minutes, Worrell Sterling, the man on target. 2-0 at half-time. When you're a member of the Watford family, they don't forget your birthday. Injured defender Paul Franklin hands out the birthday cards signed by the players. And when the chairman returns from an American tour to see his team for the first time this season, the fans remember him too.
Elton, what a welcome back.
Yeah, it's wonderful. We have got a wonderful set of supporters at this club. There's not many teams that will be bottom of the league, and the attendances will go up 28%. And I think this is something that has kept the club going more than just the manager or anything. The support this club's had this season has been unbelievable.
You must be delighted the way it's become a family club as well.
Well, that's what we set out when Graham joined the club, and Bertie, me joined the club, and Eddie joined the club. That's the way we thought this club would have to go, because it's not a big stadium, and we wanted to make it safe for people to come here. And this fan, they've taken this club to their hearts.
Watford were under more pressure in the second half, but goalkeeper Tony Coton preserved the lead and Watford won their 5th successive match. It's reward for the crowd's loyalty through the bad times.
You can't have loyalty just one side. Now, I think that what we've tried to do is show loyalty to the Watford supporters over the last 6 or 7 years. And they have rewarded us with loyalty in this losing patch. And I think they've responded to what we've done. They've shown tremendous loyalty to us. Do you know, we had a losing run at the start of this season, and I'm certain that in any other Football League club, they'd have been after the manager. So far, they haven't harmed a hair of my head.
Watford have spent years trying to entice the families back to their ground, and unlike most clubs, they can say with some confidence that the fans making their way home tonight will be back again the next time. 2 especially.
I'll shake hands with you, because you're a man, and I'm going to give her a big whopper again, eh? Isn't she lovely, eh? Look at that, eh? What a cheeky little face.
She is too. They're the sort of pictures I like to see as Watford fly the football flag for the family, one among quite a few clubs preparing to take football into the 21st century. Well, now to the Cannon League's 2nd division and 2 fancied promotion candidates. At the outset, many people's money was on Manchester City, the best supported club in the division. But they've fallen just a fraction behind the pace. Nevertheless, a win against Oldham, themselves urgently needing points for another reason, could put them back in the frame. We'll see. Your commentator is Barry Davis.
For the 2nd time in the year, this local derby would seem to have attracted the biggest crowd of the season to Boundary Park. And they've come for what amounts to an old boys reunion. Because in an unchanged Oldham Athletic side are no fewer than 4 players who began their careers with Manchester City. Kenny Clements, Tony Henry, Roger Palmer, and now Willie Donachie, who for the first time plays against the side for whom he spent 12 happy years. Oldham's manager Joe Royal also had good times with them, playing nearly 100 league appearances. He's been in the hot seat here at Boundary Park for 100 games now, just starting his 2nd century, and few could tell him more about the problems that the job involves than the assistant manager of Manchester City, Jimmy Frizzell, who served Athletic faithfully for 22.5 years, the last 12.5 as manager. Unlike the City manager now, Billy McNeil, he must be hoping that this side can improve upon a thoroughly disappointing away record. It's a side which shows Mick McCarthy restored after suspension, and for the first time we can see Jim Melrose in a Manchester City shirt. The referee hasn't had to come too far, comes from Blackpool, Ken Walmsley. It's a grey, damp afternoon, and Manchester City attacking the goal to our right. The teams having changed round after the kick-in. City starting the season very much as favourites for promotion. Oldham Athletic, a side who've been in this division longer than any other. Kenny Clements and Andy Gorham. Offside. Got to be dangerous play against Smith. Hooligan was the other player involved, but Smith's foot was certainly dangerous. Clements against McCarthy. And the drive came from Henry. He played nearly 100 games for the opposition. Baker, who is a bit lucky. Had no real confidence then in what he was trying to do. Reed, Kinsey, good header. Baker, Wilson away by Hooligan. Quinn, Parker coming in, but Williams comfortably there. Free kick. Joe McBride. Came here from Rotherham, but perhaps will be better known for his days at Everton. Henry. McBride. Donachie. Hooligan has made space on the right. The cross might find him and does. It's a great cross by Ward, who turned up on the other side and hit a beauty. Here's Smith. Kinsey, player over on the right. Wilson shot, hit the post. And still in with a chance. Penalty. Handball given against Joe McBride. No question at all. There was a moment when he held the ball. Wilson hit the foot of the post when City had a man over to the right. Oldham couldn't clear the ball from the edge of the 18-yard area. McBride got involved, tried to get it out of the way, and held it for a moment. Smith from the penalty spot. Brilliant save. Gave him a chance, the shot, to be fair, but even so, it was a very, very fine save. Suddenly it's down the other end with Parker. Here's Donachie, and it's a rollicking atmosphere. Out by Parr. Wards. Smith, who missed the penalty, back to defend. Here's Kinsey. The way this match is being played, you'd think it was the championship decider. Play on, says the referee. Phillips. Made to the right, but he could go the other way. Maybe should have done. What an opportunity for Gordon Smith. The ball was struck a little up, and the goalkeeper, diving to his right, did extremely well. Palmer down the middle. Baker to nobody in particular, possibly towards. Well played. Lovely cross, they're queuing up, Parker and Quinn together, and they got in each other's way. What a fine start this young man is having. He's been all over the place in attack and defence, and he hasn't wasted a ball yet. McDonough. Free kick against Kinsey. Doing his best to hold McDonough off. Which was no mean attempt, considering the physique of the young man. 4 forward for Oldham. And that's the sort of aerial power that Manchester City sadly missed when we last saw them at Stamford Bridge. Wilson, neatly done, offside. May. Palmer. A little bit of space for Donachie. Quinn. Good try, and it got deflected off McCarthy. Mark Ward has gone to take it. Actually came to this club from Northwich, Victoria. Palmer waiting on the goal line in front of the goalkeeper. Away by Phillips. Needs to be held for a moment by Melrose, and here's a lot of space for Baker. Henry trying to get goal side, and did. But not fairly, says Mr. Walmsley. He made up a lot of ground, did Tony Henry. The ball held by Melrose, and suddenly there was an enormous gap in the middle. Free kick on the edge of the D of the 18-yard line. Phillips to curl, I think. Oh, he hit it well, and how well it was held. Seemed to get through almost dead straight. And Gorham clung onto it extremely well. Great strike. Free kick against Hooligan. Kinsey and McDonough. Mick McCarthy. Palmer to him. Power. McDonough. Parker. Donachie. Ward on the right side. Great ball to Kinsey. The ball came from Wilson. Two to cross it to, but they'd both gone in further than that. But it's amazing how often one pass is capable of cutting out the entire defence, and Wilson provided one then. But Manchester City not taking the opportunities that are coming their way. Billy McNeil, the City manager, two for the left as we look. His side have been playing up the hill and against the wind, but theirs have been the clearer opportunities. Good tackle by Phillips. Off the head of Melrose to Smith. Kinsey coming in from the far side. May is up on the edge of the area. He's the one unmarked, and up comes Phillips. Another fine save. Brilliant stop right on his 6-yard line. But it was a good ball delivered in by Smith, and it was Phillips who arrived the last, hit it well, and again Gorham to the rescue of Oldham. But short for Hooligan. He had Ward available, didn't use him. Off the head of May, the feet of Parr fell a bit kindly. Smith, and it's Smith who had the clearest opportunity of the half. From the penalty spot from 12 yards. One of many saves, fine saves to be made by Andy Gorham, which means that a rumbustious first half ends scoreless. So City now have the slope in their favour. And the game immediately picks up its pace of the first period. Here's Clive Wilson. Had a good first half for Manchester City. Baker. And Ward. Just a bit too long. Oh! But here's Quinn. Two waiting for a cross. Donachie. Something of a gift for the man who replaced him at left back, Paul Parr. Dive in by Baker. Clements. Reed recovers after a minor palpitation. McDonough. Wilson. Baker, space on the right for Phillips. Two left of him. And yes, it was missed by Kinsey, but not by Melrose. Phillips, well seen on the right. It was a good cross, which Kinsey went for and failed to make contact, which was as well for Jim Melrose, who side-footed the ball home. The goal coming in the 50th minute, and it's the first for Jim Melrose for his new club. So Gorham beaten at last. 2-2 was the result here last year. It's not enough for City on that occasion, as they finished 4th in the promotion race. But it did help to fire Oldham Athletic, who survived from relegation. That's a good try by Melrose. Just the ball down the middle and the instant shot. May. Clements. Nicely done. Halfway through the second half. One goal between the teams, scored by Melrose of Manchester City. Baker, and here's Smith for number 2. Yes! What a good finish. Well, he can reflect, should he wish. He was much further out than when he missed from the penalty spot. That was certainly a well-judged finish. And again, Andy Gorham given not a chance. 68 minutes, Manchester City 2, Oldham Athletic 0. Donachie, Henry. Supporters braving the rain. It looks to me as though they're standing on top of the turnstile entry. McCarthy did well. Now can they exploit the gap? This is Quinn. Saved by Nicky Reed. Williams had come away, but Reed covered. Quinn disappointed again. Melrose didn't give enough of it. And Baker taken out of the game. Ward doesn't seem to have seen it too much for quite a long time. So Manchester City improved their away record. Smith's fine finish following the earlier first goal for his new club, for Jim Melrose. Final score 2-0. City having missed a penalty in the first half when it was anybody's game, coming out on top in the second.
Well, the shock of the day came in the second division with the leaders Oxford United beaten 2-0 at the bottom club Notts County. Now that means Blackburn go top after their 2-2 draw at Portsmouth, but they have an identical goal record with Oxford, and so they lead only alphabetically. In Division 3, the leaders Bradford City and Millwall both won at home, and Gillingham go third after thrashing Preston 4-0. In the fourth division, again both leaders won, and Hereford move up to third after winning 3-0 at Northampton. Well, to action from Scotland. Premier Division leaders Aberdeen playing Hearts at Tynecastle. Archie McPherson is the commentator.
Hearts retreating. Oh, that's very good work by McDougall. That's an excellent ball, and there's a touch, and Cohen puts it away. Whittaker did very well, turning back. They wanted that ball pushed over, though. McDonald can't quite get it, and down goes Leighton. Williams McDonald with a great chance, and he scored! The coolest of equalisers. Not a bad ball, and there's a brilliant goal by Stark. 2-1 for Aberdeen.
Well, there's football in Sports Night on Wednesday at 9:35 and, of course, in Match of the Day next Saturday, rather later at 11:10. And the AA tell us that Colchester is 59 miles from Highbury. No doubt Ian Allinson is more than pleased to have made that journey. And having enjoyed his performance today, so are we. Good night.
Here's Mariner. And he's taken the throw quickly to Allinson. Oh, good effort, and it's there!